Greetings, mathematicians. So what we're going to do now that you have learned how to do those product sum puzzles is we're going to use that to help us factor trinomials. All right, here we go. All right, so if you've seen Frozen, you probably get that one. I thought that was a good one. All right, let me get my screen set up here. You probably noticed when you were working on these puzzles that there were 4 different types. And so we're going to go over those so that you can think about the signs and then what your final answer should be when you factor. So you can see I have the crisscrosses just like on your puzzles. This first one is a trinomial where both of the signs are positive. So the first thing we're going to do is figure out, well, where does everything go? The b is going to go on top. That is going to be your coefficient of the middle term. C is the constant. We're going to put that on the bottom. Now here's an example of a trinomial, x squared plus 11x plus 30. So the goal here is to figure out the product sum for this one and then to put them into 2 binomials. 11 would be the letter B. 30 is your constant. So we're going to place those in the correct spot in your puzzle, your crisscross puzzle. 11 will go on top. 30 will go on the bottom. So we are going to now focus on 30. This is your constant. We are going to look at your factor pair chart at 30, and we have to figure out which of these factor pairs adds up to 11. Well, this is 31, 17, 13. 6 plus 5 is 11. So we are going to use 6 and 5. Now our last step is just to make these into 2 binomials. X will be your first term, and then it doesn't matter. You can put the 6 first, you can put the 5, whichever one you want to do. We're okay there. Multiplication is commutative, so we can put those in either order. Now this is going to become important here eventually when we do graphing with our quadratics. This is going to help us find where that quadratic is crossing the x-axis. All right, let's look at the next example. All right, I'll just go straight down here. So this is when we have the middle term is negative, but our constant is positive. All right, so we're going to fill in here. Negative b on top. We're going to put the c on the bottom. Now you can see our answer, both of our factors are going to be minus minus. All right, so let's get this one set up. X squared minus 10x plus 24. We're going to put the negative 10 on top, the 24 on the bottom. So this time we still want to find a factor pair of 24 that's going to add up to 10. All right, so let's look at your factor pair chart. So this adds up to 25, to 24, to 11, and to 10. All right, so we're going to use 6 and 4. But we know that both of the factors have to be negative. See our answer, both negative, negative, both factors are negative. All right, let's get our final answer then. We put the letter x for the first term, minus 6 and minus 4. So those are the 2 binomials. Now we could remultiply that and we should get this answer. So what we're doing is inverse. We're doing the inverse of FOIL or Punnett square. We are factoring. Okay, top right. This time the middle term is positive, but our last term is negative. So you can see our answer is going to be plus minus. So we've got to think a little bit differently on this one. So let's get everything filled in. We're going to have B. We'll have minus C here. Here's our trinomial. So I'll substitute in here. 4 here, our negative 60 goes on the bottom. And I can label that. There's your B and C. I didn't do that on the last one, but if that helps you, we just have to place those in the correct spot. So again, we're going to focus on 60 and think of the factor pairs of 60 that have a difference of 4. All right, let's get my factor pair chart here. So difference of 4. Well, geez, this is 59. This would be 28, 17, 11. This one would be 7, and this one would be 4. Oh, okay, for 4. So, well, let me slide it over. 10 minus 6 is 4. So we are going to use 10 and 6. Now let's see what it says. It says the bigger factor is positive. Well, the bigger factor is 10. So I'm going to leave that positive, make the 6 negative. I'm ready to write my 2 binomials. The 10 is positive, my 6 is negative. Now again, if I were to refoil that out, and especially I can do the inner and the outer. The inner is 10x, the outer is negative 6x. 10x plus a negative 6x, you bet, that's your 4x that's in the middle. All right, one last one. This one, the middle term is negative, your constant is negative. All right, so we're going to have negative b and negative c. So let's see what it says. What factor pair of 45 has a difference of 4? All right, so let's get everything in the right spot. B always goes on top. That's the coefficient of your middle term. Your C goes on the bottom. So again, I'm thinking of factor pairs of 45. All right, let me get my sheet. All right, factor pairs of 45. 45 minus 1 is 44. 15 minus 3 is 12. 9 minus 5 is 4. Okay, so difference means to subtract. Well, it's going to be 9 and 5. So now I just look over in my notes. The bigger factor is negative. All right, so this time I'm going to put the negative on my bigger factor. My smaller factor stays positive. All right, let's get the binomials written. Remember, it's just whatever that letter is. Sometimes they use different letters. I use X in my notes. So we're going to have minus 9 and positive 5. All right, so let's just review again how to cut and paste into our notebook. So just cut this thing in half. Okay, finding my notebook here. I'm going to find a page in my notebook where I can put the first one on the left and the second one on the right. All right, now 2 ways you can do the glue. 4 dots. We just noticed kids were using a lot of glue. We don't need glue in the middle. There's no reason for it. This will stay in your notebook. Okay, so 4 dots or a thin line on the outside. I just wanted to review how to use the glue properly. All right, we are set. So what I'd like you to do is just grab a writing prompt sheet, and I posted 6 problems on the Canvas page today. So we want you to try those out.